today's show is something I have wanted to do for a long time. See, I have two very close friends with whom I worked on Evening Shade. They're married, I'm married. They have a 3-year-old son, I have a 7-month-old son. I guess the only difference there's between us is our height. See, in fact, my friend Cindy is 3 feet 10 inches, and her husband Joe is 4 feet 3 inches, and I'm about 5 foot 7. But, you know, the difference in our height means absolutely nothing. Today we're going to meet many little people from all walks of life. And you're even going to meet the leader of the Lollipop Guild from The Wizard of Oz. Now, Cindy, my friend Cindy, says that people always have so many questions about little people, but that they're always afraid to ask. So today, we're going to get some answers. Don't go away. Guests are two very dear friends of mine. We worked together on Evening Shade, and they were actors as well as the stand-ins for my children on the show. And I am so happy that they're here today. Please welcome Cindy Sorensen and her husband, Joseph Griffo. They're good chairs.
And hi.
Now, when I told you that we wanted to do a show, you thought this was a great idea.
I thought it was wonderful. Like Marilu said earlier, that everybody always wants to come up and ask us questions, and they're so curious, and it's so cute. You know, like, were you little when you were born? I mean, you know, tiny, or how big is your baby when he was born?
People are always, you said that there were at least 25 questions that people always come up with. And that, now, just so that we all know, what is the politically correct phrase? How do we address you? Tell me when I'm being politically incorrect. I mean, what is the right title?
Okay.
Little person or little people are the correct term.
Right.
And people usually will call us dwarfs sometimes, and that's a medical term. But little people is more to the generic name of calling us.
The generic name.
Or if you know our name, you can say, hey.
Yeah. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Joe. Right, something like that. Now, how did the two of you first meet?
Oh, boy, that's a good story.
I met Cindy. I seen her around. She was always going on tours, doing her acting.
Dating tall guys.
Dating tall guys?
Yeah.
And swore never to date a little guy.
Yep, I said no.
So,
why? Now, how come? How come you said, I'll never date a little guy?
Well, I grew up in Montana. And like I said, I was the only little person around, so obviously there was no little guy. So anyway, all I can date is tall guys, these football players, you know, cowboys. And so when I came to California, it was so funny because I said, this is great, I'm ready, you know, the California guys. Like the Beach Boys, the song. Well, anyway, so I said, oh, this is wonderful. All of a sudden, I meet the organization of the little people, and there was these nice-looking little guys. And I said, oh, I'll try. You know, so I jumped.
The way I got her attention, I threw my baseball glove at her because we were having a baseball function that day. And I said, I think I want to talk to her. So I just threw my glove right at her.
Right.
And that's how caveman style.
Yeah,
caveman.
I said, look at this little Italian. Look at going after this blonde, typical story.
So the two of you got married.
Yeah.
A few, 9 years ago, right?
8 years ago.
8 years ago.
August 2nd, 8 years ago. And we were married 5 years, and then we had a wonderful, sweet, adorable son, Garrett, who is now 3.
Right. And we're going to bring Garrett out in a little,
bit.
And he is the...
Oh, he's thrilled.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
He's ready.
He's ready.
Yes. Now, I knew you when you were pregnant because we worked together for 4 years on Evening Shade. And when you were pregnant, I mean, you looked adorable. But you gained...
A big Newton, Marilu. A big Newton.
I thought you looked great. Yeah, it was right in the front.
Like one of those little Oompa Loompas.
But you gained about 22 pounds?
I gained, about 22. So, mind you, I was 77 pounds when I started, and I was 98 probably, you know, when I had Garrett.
Right.
And it was...
Now, Garrett is average size.
Garrett is average size.
Now, explain that to us, because a lot of people don't understand how the genes work.
Okay. There's...
Well, you know, It's just that we have the percentage is 25% to be average size, 25% to be double dominant, and the
Which means what? Because
double dominancy means
two people with the dwarf gene.
Right.
Is that what we call
too
it?
much dwarf genes into one egg, and it's besides the body being small,
develop properly.
the insides of the organs are too small. So, like us, we're small shell, but we have normal-sized organs inside.
Right.
Right.
The deal is, Marilu, there to educate everybody. There's hundreds of different type of dwarfism, dwarfs, and we're all like have names. Joe and I are the most common type of dwarfism. We're called achondroplasia, and what happens when you get the same type of dwarfism?
That's where you come up with the
pregnancy, you know, of conceiving a child, you know, it's 50% that would be small like Joe and I, 25 that would be tall, which Garrett was, and 25 double dominant. And that's when you get two dwarf genes when they conceive, and it just the baby
child does not live.
Absolutely, it doesn't develop properly.
Well, live maybe 2 weeks to 6 months,
and
then
some don't live at all, you know, but it just they have no chance.
Right.
And
they
so, you know,
now, what's the difference between the kind of dwarfism that's pituitary, which is like just a small miniature person?
Yes.
Right.
And obviously, we've all seen just small people. With Joe and I, we're not proportioned, as you see. I'm built like a little woman, and Joe's built like a little guy, whereas the pituitaries are pretty proportioned.
You'll see the difference in the, and when you see the rest of the little people, you'll see the difference in leg lengths, arm lengths.
Yeah, she's asking the pituitary, yeah.
Right.
But pituitary, just get a tall man, shrink him down evenly.
Yeah.
Now,
He's under 5 foot.
You're cooking.
Thank you. Now, tell me about the way, I mean, we went to your house, which we're going to show in a little while, too, and we talked to you about clothes and everything. What are some of the other questions that people ask you that they're so curious about?
Some of the questions are so cute.
People usually ask us when they're talking to us, do you mind if we ask? I says, no, you're being educated, you know.
The question that right now, especially having Garrett and raising Garrett, the question is a lot of parents come up to us and say, what are you going to do when your son becomes a teenager? And Marilu, you know what, I turn to them and say, what are you going to do when you're a kid? Or what will you do if you know, child?
So he's going to be a teenager like any other teenager.
Absolutely. And you know, Joe and I, our attitude is, we are comfortable with who we are in life, and we have a very positive outlook.
You just kind of filter into society. And
and we've both been brought up in two different lifestyles, you know, as far as average size homes.
Right. Now, you have a twin sister.
Yes, I do.
Who is average size.
Right, 5'1".
And she's here today.
And she's here today, and we're going to meet her later as well and talk to her. And in your family, you were the only one.
No, and I
the only little person.
And I came from an athletic family. 5'11", my sister was.
Yeah.
Yes. And basketball player, college.
And hopefully Garrett will be that tall, so we can get him in the pros there.
Now, does Garrett know that you're a little person?
Oh, Marilu, this is so cute. He's going to preschool.
Well, let's bring Garrett out. Garrett, come on out. Garrett. Come on. I'll go get him. Garrett, come on. Come on, sweetie. Say hi to everybody, Garrett.
Marilu has been so...
Here, I want to put him on my lap. You want to sit on my lap?
So excited to be on
to be
the
out
show
here?
and to
Were you
see
excited to come out? I know we were over at your house the other day. I know. I remember when you put him on Santa's lap in the Christmas episode 2 years ago on Evening Shade.
He was just a baby.
He was just a baby. He was so cute. He was dying.
You know what, Marilu, to answer your question and to finish up on that is that we believe Garrett, how could I say this? We believe very positive in our life, and whatever we had as far as a dwarf baby or an average-sized baby, we are going to bring him up as everyday life as we can.
Right. And to meet the challenges, whatever
you bet. We've had challenges.
And that's how we met him.
What happened at his school? Because you told me the cutest story that I want you to tell everybody.
What happened was Garrett goes to preschool 3 days a week, and the kids, you know, when I take them to preschool, they'll go, Garrett, your mommy, you know, this is the beginning of the thing. And they'll go, they're now coming up saying, oh, I like your outfit, Cindy. Like these little 3-year-olds. And anyway.
They want to borrow it.
Right. They want to borrow my clothes. Okay, just what I need.
And they're very inquisitive.
Inquisitive. All children are inquisitive. And so, mind you, months went on, and the other day I was, you know, cooking in the kitchen, and I was standing on my stool by the sink, and Garrett comes in the kitchen, he goes, Mommy, you're little. And I turned with almost a tear in my eye because I think it's wonderful because I'm thinking my child is getting old enough now.
Yeah.
Oh, you do, huh? And anyway, and I answered him. I said, yes, Garrett, Mommy is little. And she just, that's it, he walked away. Like,
you remember that? Remember when you said that to your mom?
yeah, she's little, isn't she?
Well, I'm sure a lot of people would like to know if your house is any different from our house. So I went over to their house the other day, and I brought a camera crew with me. So let's take a look at Joe and Cindy's house. Knock, knock.
Hi! Oh, I miss you! You look great, thanks.
And here's the big guy.
Oh my God! Now, can you believe that?
Are you? Oh my
Garrett,
gosh! Oh my gosh! What a little love bug he is.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Welcome to our home,
Good.
Marilu.
Thanks.
We have all sizes that walk into this store.
Oh, okay.
Come on, we'll show you the house.
All right. Okay. Come on. Let's go.
Come on, let's show Marilu the house.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Marilu, we welcome you to our second room. This is our restroom, as you can see.
Now this looks like your standard size bathroom.
It pretty much is. This house is 50 years old, and in them days they didn't make the counters quite as high as they do now. So it works out perfect. There are a few things that I do need to accommodate my use.
How do you put on your makeup? Do you just use that mirror all the time?
Once in a while, but when I want a half a body shot,
Right.
I use, you're gonna find this so cute. I use my child's potty seat to get up, and it's great. I love it. As you see, this is our cozy bedroom, as I call it.
Oh, that vanity's beautiful.
Oh, thanks. That's Joe's grandmother's. And here is a curiosity question that everybody wants to ask me is, where do you get your clothes?
I love closets anyway. I'm so glad I'm seeing your closet.
Here's an outfit
Okay.
that I wear when I go out with
Very
Joe.
nice. Now
Yes.
this is very sexy.
Yes.
Now you didn't buy this in a children's department, obviously.
No, this is actually a small ladies, and I just kind of re-altered it and stuff. Here's another outfit, Marilu. This is a children's dress. And I'm fortunate enough to try to keep my weight down so I can wear kids' clothes.
Right.
And it works out great because nowadays kids' clothes are pretty much
Yeah, they're pretty
sync.
sophisticated.
Yeah, they're very, in sync of adult, clothes, and it works out so great.
Now, what about your shoes?
These are my pumps. Are they cute?
They're darling. Now, these aren't from a children's department, right?
No, this is a store called Cinderella Boston in Canoga Park that specializes in small feet.
Oh, well, that's good because you want to wear adult-looking shoes.
You got that right.
Yeah.
The
Ladies, am I missing anything here?
Now, where are Joe's clothes?
Hey, Marilu, this is my closet.
I'm next door with Garrett in the closet next door. Yeah,
I threw him
I'm in the
next
other
door.
room.
Happens in every marriage, I know. They're always in another room.
I don't even have room. I need more. Here, I'll take these clothes. Come on.
Okay.
This is the room I spend most of my time in. I love to cook, Marilu. Oh,
Oh, good.
and as you
this
can
is
see,
pretty standard, right?
yeah, it
Kitchen?
is. One thing is, this is a new kitchen. We had this done last year, and I asked the contractors to make me a custom counter, and with a bar sink too, because the fact that there's times when I have a hot pot,
Right.
of water, and it's just so hard to get up on the stool and pour it in the sink, whereas I could just
it's right
accommodate.
there for you.
Absolutely, and this has been an asset. I just love it.
Oh, good. Now, what's in these cabinets?
Oh boy, this is so, people find this so odd, but this is where we keep our dishes, our plates and our glasses, and it's simply wonderful for us because it's at use.
Yeah.
I do, like I said, keep things high, but like I said, I get a stool and grab them. For instance, I'm gonna make some pasta. You wanna help me?
Sure.
Okay, could you grab me a pan?
Sure.
Thanks. Marilu, do you want to grab the dishes? We are ready for lunch.
Here.
Garrett's still down for his nap.
This looks so
Here we
good.
go, you guys.
All right.
I hope you enjoy it.
Bon appetit. To the chef.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. And welcome to our home, Marilu.
So you didn't have to really modify your house in any way.
No.
Just in the kitchen a little bit and in the bathroom, just the, you know, ingenuity.
We
That's all.
we were very lucky because our house is over 50 years old.
Right.
And their standard was much lower than what the regular standard size is now.
But, so that's better for the resale value.
You bet.
Yeah.
Right.
You bet.
And then in terms of other little people, though, sometimes
Also,
people have to make accommodations.
Sure,
Yeah.
there are friends of ours that do have a
Scale down and
scale
stuff.
down homes.
But then when they sell their house, either sell it to another little person or redo the kitchen again and sell it.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll go to commercial on that one. When we come back, we're going to talk to a couple that has 2 children. One is a dwarf, and the other is average size. In fact, her son is bigger than she is. Probably as big as what he's digging out right now.
Marilu, and here's our car, and I'll show you the modification on this with the gas and the brake that we have here. So how do we get around town and stuff. Here's the gas, which is has an extension on it, and here's the brake, which has an extension on it. And they're both adjustable, and they're both removable.
That's all you had to do, though, right?
Yeah, that's all
So if
for
you go
this
to
car.
resell the car, there's no problem.
There's no problem whatsoever because everything is removed out of it and stuff.
That was Joe showing me how he made his car fit into his lifestyle. And today we're talking with little people. So joining us are a couple who aren't in show business. She's a former assistant director of the Disabled Student Services for UC Irvine, and he is a technical director in food services. They have 2 children. One is a dwarf, and one is average-sized. Please say hello to Denise and Chris Kilpack. Welcome to the show. Now, the 2 of you met in an interesting way as well. How did you meet?
Go for it.
We met at a convention, Little People Convention in Portland, Oregon. And Chris had gone because he was thinking about going to medical school and was interested in genetics and thought he would go and see a bunch of different varieties of dwarfism. And,
I hadn't been involved in Little People at all prior to that. Hadn't known any Little People prior to that.
So it was like his first experience. And I had gone, and I hadn't been to a national convention since I was 9 years old. And I was 21 at the time, so that's a big difference going when you're 9 and then not going again when I was 21. So there was all these people there, and I was scared to death, and locked eyes with Chris, and he was incredibly shy. And every time I looked at him, he'd look the other way. So I thought...
I know he's hanging on to that.
Yeah. So you know, I thought, how am I going to meet this guy? So we finally met, and it turned out that we lived just 25 miles away from each other in California, but went all the way up to Oregon. And... I don't know, about a couple months later, we started dating, and we're still dating.
And you're still dating. It's a nice way to keep a marriage alive.
Still dating.
Don't you think?
That was 17 years ago.
17 years. 17 years of good dating.
Oh, and it's been incredible.
That's great.
That's great. Now, you have 2 children.
We have 2
So
children.
tell us about your family. And tell us how you feel your family is just like every other family.
Well, we made this decision to have children. And, okay, you've all heard about Joe and Cindy being achondroplasia, okay?
Wait, what is that word?
Achondroplasia dwarfism is the
Oh,
type,
okay.
is the
that's
type
the
that
kind.
they, of
Right.
types of dwarfs that they are.
Right.
My type is a different type than Joe and Cindy, and Chris is a different type than me.
And so what's the difference?
Well, I'm a mesomelic.
And what does that
which
mean?
means my limbs are primarily affected in the middle sections. So I'm very small in this area and very small in this area.
Right.
My limbs are still very stunted relative to my body size, but my limbs are primarily affected. Denise is a pseudo-achondroplastic dwarf, which most of us, good old days, were all classified as acons, or what we call acons.
Acons.
And
The only way to...
with time, they started differentiating it because the causative agents were different.
So what is the causative agent?
Well, it's a malformation in the development of the cartilage during development, fetal development, and the cartilage is what becomes bones. So primarily most of our limbs and our backs and our heads and
So
just
the
about every
genetic
part.
connection is really in the bones rather than something else.
Exactly.
Unless there's the
Exactly.
double dominance, which you explained to us
Absolutely.
before.
Right.
And we're going to have a doctor out here a little bit later
He could
to
explain
explain
it
all of
I was
this.
just going to say, did you get all that?
Yes.
So,
Now your child,
Okay,
who is a dwarf, which kind is she?
Name that new dwarf.
yeah, she's a little of both.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Is that what usually happens?
Well,
It can.
this is what could have happened. We had a 25% chance of having a dwarf like myself, a 25% chance of having a dwarf like Chris, a 25% chance of having a combination of the two of us. Y'all still with me? And a 25% chance of having an average-sized child.
Right.
Okay. Erin displays more of my type of dwarfism, but she is expressing some of her dad as well, but is more of my type. And then the 25% chance of having an average-sized child was Dennis. So, which is our son.
Right.
Which is our son, and he's average size.
Now, when you think about being a dwarf, do you feel like there's any time in your life that you were, like, that was a difficult time for you?
Oh, I think with guys in particular, it's very difficult during high school.
During high school?
It's okay to be a small female. It's pretty tough to be a small guy.
I agree with that.
Great, Chris, to be a small female. What do you mean? It's okay.
So it was real. I was very outgoing up through 6th, 7th grade, 8th grade, and when I got into high school, I really withdrew because suddenly I realized how much different I was.
But you also said, and I understand that you said that people ask you all the time if you could have a magic wand waved and you wouldn't be a little person, and you wouldn't do it.
Well, people have asked me that a number of times, and Denise and I have talked a lot about it. And no, I wouldn't do it. And the rationale behind that is I am who I am right now because I was small. A lot of it had to do with this.
We all go through stages in our lives, regardless of what and who we are. But I think what happens is that we start internalizing that the reason this isn't happening, the reason I'm not dating is because I'm short, and the reason this isn't happening is because I'm short. And that's part of our growing process and part of developing. And I think as we get older, you look back, and because I could say I didn't date as much as some of my friends dated in high school, but you know what? They were sitting home on Saturday nights too, and they weren't short.
The world is the world.
But at the time, that didn't matter to me. At the time, it was me.
We all go through that.
It
The
must have been-
adolescent years, everybody goes through.
Right.
Whether
So-
you're little or tall. And also, too, Marilu, I'm probably Denise and Chris and Joe would say, the little people, I have to give them credit. Most of the ones we know around this LA area have done awful good, and they make the best of their lives. And you know what? You're born with something, to me, is you go for it, and you make the
think
best
positive
of it.
and just hurdle whatever's
And
in
God
your
has
way.
given us all the strength.
Right.
And, you know, we do what everybody else does.
That's right. Well, I want to meet your kids. Aaron? Dennis? Hi. Well, welcome to the show. They're darling. Now, she's the older sister.
Right.
Yes.
But you're her protector, I understand.
Yes.
He's a little big brother.
He's the little big brother. You take care of her. She's so pretty. You're gonna have to like fight the guys off for her, right?
I wouldn't say that.
No. The typical. Now, so how does he take care of you?
He helps me turn on the lights, and he helps me do things that I can't reach.
Oh, that's great. And how do you help him?
That's a hard question.
How does she help you?
Nothing.
She never does anything? Well, we're going to have to find something for her to do to help you.
Aggravates you.
She aggravates you. Typical sister. Typical sister. Well, when we come back, we're going to meet the leader of the Lollipop Guild. You won't want to miss this. Stay with us. On the next Marilu, found 94 a bore, start 95 with a whole new look. We found 6 ladies looking for a change.
I'm getting close to 40, so I'd like a lift. I want to change.
So our beauty and fashion experts are going to cut, color, dress, and style them. And teach you how to do it all at home.
If you look good, you'll feel young, you'll feel happy.
The secret to a whole new you on the next Marilu. Today we're talking with little people and average-sized people, and my next guests are real Hollywood veterans. He was the leader of the Lollipop Guild, the Buster Brown Boy, and so much more. His wife has also had a long and distinguished career in Hollywood. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jerry and Elizabeth Marin. ask you to do that little thing,
Yes,
dance
dear.
that you guys did.
Well, you want me to?
Yeah.
I represent the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, and in the name of the Lollipop Guild, I wish to welcome you to Marilu Land.
Oh, all right, fine. Wait, is that the original? No. Okay, all right. Now, what was it like working on that movie?
Oh, it was exciting because I'm the only small one in the family, and when we did the movie, we had 125 little people, and I'd never seen one before in my life, and I'm looking like this. You know, like you people would be looking, gee, I wonder if he plays baseball. Hey, does he like girls, or, you know, does he do this, does he do that? And I was all excited because I finally met somebody my own size. I could look him in the eye. I could even fight him if I had to, you know.
That's right.
But it was the first time, so it was exciting to me as it was to. Same thing with Judy Garland, because she was crazy about us. She always says, "Hi, gang," you know, when she entered the set, and she always says, "See you tomorrow, kids," you know. She was a typical teenager.
How old were you when you did that movie?
I was 18.
18. So that was that was
50, almost 56 years ago.
56 years ago.
So I'm an old man.
So that dispels one of the myths about little people, because a lot of times people think that they have a short life expectancy. It's not true.
He's going to be the world's last living munchkin.
Incidentally, Marilu, there were 124 of us when we started.
Right.
Now there are only 18 left.
Oh.
Well, I was young when I started, so it
That's
only
right. You're
figures.
probably one of the younger ones.
Yes, dear.
Weren't you?
There were a few younger than me, not many, though.
Now, you've done a lot to change the way little people are treated in Hollywood. In terms of like, you were like a groundbreaker in terms of jobs.
Oh, yes, I think so.
You know, in terms of
we,
Hollywood jobs.
We worked a lot with children. We stood in for them, we stand in for them, and we did photo doubling and stunts and inserts. You know, there's a lot of things you can do. You can save a lot of money in pictures, you know.
Absolutely.
Yes, now I understand you, too. You've done a lot of stunts.
Yeah, I've done a lot of doubling for children because in a fast car chases, or if they want somebody way up high in a tree, they don't like to take a chance with an 8 or 9-year-old child, so they dress me up, put me in there.
And that's why you stay in such good shape, too.
Yeah. Well, maybe so. I weigh 62 pounds, which is the same thing I weighed when I graduated high school.
I don't know how many other people can say that they still fit into their high school clothes.
Yes,
now, when you were a child, Jerry, your parents thought, let's give him hormones, let's give him some kind of...
Oh, yeah, I went through the whole routine. My mother and father took me to a doctor when I was about 14, and they said, what's wrong, you know?
Right.
And so I went to the Huntington Hartford Hospital, I think, in Boston. Dr. Orb or something. They says, well, he's just small, you know. That's all. So, and I did take a few. I took some kind of shot from goats. I don't know what the hell it was. But it was from goats. And anyways, and it didn't help. So I, you know, and I was playing ball at the time, you know, and I didn't want to.
You didn't want to have those goat shots inside of you.
Well, whatever it was, you know.
Yeah. Well, when we come back, we're going to meet a man who's trying to change the types of roles little people get in Hollywood. And he'll also talk about how being a little person is all about one's attitude. Don't go away. Joining us now is an actor who has done many stand-in roles. He's worked with such people as Mel Brooks and Sam Shepard, and he has just finished doing a commercial for Nike. Please welcome Art Gill.
Hey, guys. Right. Thanks.
Now, Art, when we worked together on Evening Shade, I happen to know that you're a very good actor.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So how are you trying to change the roles for little people in Hollywood?
Well, a lot of the roles written for the little people are very stereotypical, like munchkins and elves and creature costumes, stuff like that. I like to break out of that mold and become more of a straight actor. For instance, why can't the neighbor next door on a sitcom be a little person, a true-to-life story of a little person, or there could be some comedy involved there. Maybe not so many short jokes, but some comedy regarding the size. But I think it would be great to have
even in a drama.
In a drama,
exactly.
Drama. Soap operas, a movie, you know, anything could be written about a little person and their life story, or around another actor's life story. Could be a buddy, a friend, companion, a
So
lover.
why do you think that Hollywood hasn't done this yet?
I think it's getting really close. I think Hollywood's now starting to write more roles for people with disabilities and wheelchairs. That I think the little people are now coming up next. It might be the next. It might take us little people to write a story or a concept to introduce the producers, executive producers. Hey, look, there's a story. Why don't you try this? Give us a break. The black community has gone on their own and written stories, and I think we as little people, disabled actors, who have you, can write papers or storylines and present it to the producers, and hopefully that might help out too, you know.
Right.
It's tough, but I think just keep knocking at the doors.
Yeah, it's tough in Hollywood for everyone.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, it's going to be up to you.
I'm sorry?
It's going to be up to you.
Yes, yeah.
You're gonna
but it's going to be all up to everybody too,
yes,
you know,
no,
definitely.
of course.
Yeah.
Now, in your family, you had a different family from everyone else.
Right.
Because your brother, you have two brothers.
Yeah, my parents are both of average size. My first brother, my oldest brother, Ramon, he is 6 foot tall. Then my middle brother, Ricardo, he is 3'9".
Right.
And then here comes me, little Art.
And
So,
how tall are you?
I'm 3'6", and Ricky's 3'9". Back in the 60s, when they first noticed that when they found out there was going to be two little people in the same family, they thought that was very unusual. Nowadays, that's not so unusual. It can happen. Both parents were carrying the same type of recessive gene, causing my dwarfism. Now, if my wife, who is in the audience tonight, Dawn, wave, she's an achondroplasia dwarf, and I have a recessive gene. My type of dwarfism is called cartilage hair hypoplasia. Try to say that in one sentence. No.
You have to, it's a lot of syllables, these names.
There's so many details within dwarfism.
Right.
You can't explain it in a 1-hour show.
Right.
You really need a lot of time. And I know you have a medical expert here with Cedars-Sinai that can help out. But if Dawn and I were to have children, my child will carry one dominant, or would be a dominant gene, 50% dominant gene, and a 50% average size. Then my child will carry my recessive dwarfism.
Right.
But yeah, I'm straying away from that.
Maybe you could be a doctor too, a writer, a doctor, and a
yeah, there you go. I could be a doctor.
Now, what are some of the questions you always get asked?
I get, are you real? You know? No, come on, duh. You know? I get, why are you so short? You know? Are you a boy? How come you have so much hair on your face? You know? Since I have long hair, from the back, the kids say, are you a little mommy? And I turn around, no.
What would be the best thing for children to do if they see you and they, want to ask a question? What would be the best thing to do?
I think honesty.
To be honest,
Yeah.
we prefer that the parents, a lot of times what happens is, especially us ladies or anybody, we're in the grocery store and a parent will say, if a kid goes, Mommy, look at that little lady. The parent will say, shh, shh, shh. And we ask not to do that. We said what happens is if you don't let them give them an answer, they'll always think
afraid of us.
inquisitive of us, like we're like little aliens in Mars.
What we tend to do is go out of our way and go to that kid, say, hi, my name is Art.
To explain.
Introduce yourself.
Absolutely.
Very good,
Well,
Art.
even though you're a little person, as we know, your family may be average size. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk to a doctor who specializes in genetics, and we're also going to meet Joe's twin sister and his parents. And we'll hear what it's like to be an average-sized family with a little person. Don't go away. On the next Marilu, was 94 a bore? Want to start 95 with a whole new look?
I'm getting close to 40, so I'd like a lift. I want to change.
Don't miss the 95 makeovers on the next Marilu. Today we're talking with little people, and joining us now is a geneticist and pediatrician from Cedars-Sinai Hospital in Los Angeles who specializes in dwarfism. Please welcome Dr. Bill Wilcox. Okay, Dr. Wilcox, what is it that we should know about this?
Well, I think that most people with dwarfism lead perfectly normal lives. They have normal intelligence. They're able to have children. The only difficulties they may have is later in pregnancy because they're not of average size, and that the birth canal is often a little small, and they may need a cesarean section. But otherwise,
and not in every case?
Not in every case, but in many of the cases they do. It depends on the size of the baby and the size of the woman. The other thing that I think everyone should know is that most children with dwarfism are born to normal or average-sized parents, that many of these cases are due to new gene changes and are not even carried by the parents, and therefore the recurrence risk or chance of happening again is slim to none.
So it's something that happens all the time to average
All
parents.
the time. The rate of gene changes that are occurring for these conditions is about 1 in 10,000, and that's about the rate that we see dwarfisms in the general population.
Now, why were you so interested in studying this?
Well, I came to Cedars to work on a research project related to this and met Dr. David Ramoyne, who's been working on these disorders for 25 years, and caught his enthusiasm. In general, I think little people are the nicest people that I've met.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We're gonna meet Joe's parents and Joe's twin sister. Thank you so much, Dr. Wilcox. Okay, here you go. Stand up. And Joe's parents, hi, Mr. and Mrs. Grippo. And Jan is your twin sister. So now, which of you was born first?
I'm the younger.
You're the younger one.
By a whole minute.
So Joe is your big brother.
Right.
So what were some of the things like, what were you guys like as children?
Normal children.
Just totally normal
yes,
children?
Joe's somewhat of a prankster, so he was always called Cute Little Joe, so...
He got away with a lot more.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Now, what were some of the difficulties that you found in raising a child who was a little person?
Well, it was quite hectic. Joe was always he wanted to do something, he did it. And
so he was a typical boy.
We wanted to play football, he played football. And incidentally, he played football with a guy that later became an All-American.
Well, see that? What position did you play, Joe?
Middle guard.
Middle guard.
So he liked fishing, he liked hunting. He'd drive me nuts about going fishing. Always going fishing. But he always used his head. I mean, I gave him credit for it because he did things on his own, and there was a lot of things that he got today where he is on. He never asked any help for us.
See that? Those are good parents. Okay, more with my friends when we come back. Thanks, Joe. Our fashion and beauty experts reveal a secret to a whole new you. Makeovers for 1995 on the next Marilu.
Hi, I have a question for Chris. How do they treat you at work? Are you treated differently, or what do they do?
Good question. Actually, I'm treated just like everybody else, I think, for the most part. I think, in my work at least, I think it's been somewhat an advantage for me to be small. Believe it or not.
Why do you think that is?
Because I think I go in and call on customers and develop products for them. And if I walk in, I'm different from the beginning, and I think they perceive me differently.
Hi, this is for Joe. Have you found that being a little person has actually been an advantage in getting work?
You mean in the acting?
In acting or in anything?
Well, I was brought up in the 60s. It was a little bit rough during the 60s, but then it got better as the 70s and 80s came up in the 90s. I think it's being much more easier to, people are accepting people for what they are, and job-wise, too.
Hi, this is for the women. I was wondering if any of you have dated men previous before your boyfriends or husbands now, how you felt when they went to kiss you goodnight, or how they walked towards you and when you're on your date.
Good question.
Do we have to tell the real story?
Yeah, the real story.
Boy, how did we... For me, yes, I did date tall guys. I even went to the prom with a tall guy. And I have my own, what is it, way of going about it. It's like, just a sec, I'm going to just go up the stairs a little. Or, you know, like when he kissed me goodnight, you know, after the prom, it's like, just, let me just, you know, walk up the stairs and bam.
How did they arrange the prom picture?
He made it easier, like Joe said now. I don't have to work for it.
That's a good question.
How'd they arrange the prom picture?
Oh, that's good.
You know what they did for me? Oh, this was hysterical. The guy that I took to the prom was 6'2". And when it came our turn in line to have our pictures taken, The photographer literally stood behind his camera and he went, he just kept doing this. And we just said, oh, for Pete's sakes, you know. We went and grabbed the chair. He picked me up and he put me on the chair. And I said, you know, can you just get the shot from here up? And this poor man never said anything. You know, he took the shot and put me down, and we walked away, and it was pretty funny.
Thank you so much. Great question, by the way. Okay, right here.
This is for all of you. How do you guys go shopping? How do you push your shopping carts? Is there any certain kind of baskets or anything?
When you go in grocery stores.
We do it like everybody else. I have my own method.
It's just a little higher to grab.
That's right.
And just make sure
I
you...
pull mine from the side.
So do I.
From the side, because if I go forwards and I use that top little part where the little kids sit in and put all my groceries, well, when after a couple of items, I can't see. You know, and after a couple of wipeouts of displays, I pull it from the side because it's kind of embarrassing.
And
now,
how many people will help you at the counter.
The people are wonderful.
So do the products on the taller shelves just miss out?
No, you just ask someone that's nearby that's taller and say, can you reach out for me?
Marilu.
We can climb, too.
Like a good-looking guy.
We're very good climbers.
Help me out.
my son does my shopping for me now. I take him, and he pushes the cart, and he gets the groceries down.
Mm-hmm. Good. Okay.
For the two couples who have kids, how soon did you know whether your children were going to be average-sized children or whether they were going to be little people?
The ultrasound,
with us, with the ultrasound.
Yeah, the ultrasound. They can detect it. Pretty much we knew by 3 months, Joe and I, just by the bone structure. Because dwarfism, babies have smaller limbs, whereas the average size. With them...
Now, in our case, we knew if it would have been my type of dwarfism, we would have known in utero. But with Denise, her type of dwarfism isn't expressed until after she's born. She was born a pretty big child, 21 inches, I believe.
That was 21 inches.
And how much did you weigh?
Pardon me?
How much did you weigh when you were born?
I think 7 pounds, 6 ounces. I can't remember, but my parents didn't know that I was going to be a little person until I was about, I think, 12 months or 15 months, or my dad's
That's so
going
interesting.
2
Why
fingers
does it
up.
happen with certain kinds and not happen with others?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Yeah.
It's just where when it expresses itself and where it expresses
I think
itself.
it's with what year you were born in, the technology then versus now, because now it's much better.
When we were pregnant,
the technology, the science wasn't there.
My parents didn't know that I was going to be very small till they just noticed that I wasn't growing very much. You know, like, wait a minute, she's 4 years old and she looks like she's 1.5. My grandmother would take me on the bus and I would start talking to these people and they would say, that baby is talking.
We'll be right back. I want to thank my guests today, Cindy and Joe. Thank you so much. You guys have been so great. And Garrett and Chris and Denise and your kids, Dennis and Aaron and Art. Thank you so much for coming. Jerry, Elizabeth, thank you all so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
When in Los Angeles, guests of the Marilu Show travel in style with Straight Line Limousine. Straight Line, the shortest distance between 2 points. Hotel accommodations provided by the Mondrian Hotel. Sunset Strip Chic Hotel featuring panoramic views from every suite. Nightly entertainment and cutting-edge California cuisine. Some audience members will receive Whitnob, the watchmaker's watch. If you'd like to order a video cassette of Marilu for only $24.95, just call Video Archives at 1-800-FOR-VIDEO.